Okay, hello, teachers. Welcome to another week of our Classroom Management by Design for Primary Teachers. We're so excited to bring you this segment. It's kind of a follow-up to last week's segment, which was all about parent-teacher conferences. First and foremost, if you don't know me, I am Lauren Zabigan. I am the founder of Lesson Plan Toolbox, where we help primary teachers master classroom management easily, consistently, and effectively. That is who we are. That is who we serve. However, if you are not a primary teacher and you are stumbling across us, I guarantee you will find nuggets of information to carry with you into the classroom. So, feel free to keep listening, keep reading, keep watching, however you are taking this in. Pardon my formal gear. We are in the heat of MLB playoffs here in Cleveland. This is a must-win situation for us tonight with our Guardians. So, sporting the CLE, as they say, stand in the land. So that is what we're doing. We're a little casual this week, so pardon the wardrobe, but if you know, you know. Okay, so let's jump into this week. First, so thrilled that you are taking the time to improve your classroom management and just gain insight and become a stronger teacher. Just you clicking on this link and exploring this is truly going to help you in the long run, okay? So, as primary teachers, we know that part of our job is not just to educate children, but to build relationships with their families as well. This is one of those pieces of the puzzle that we don't necessarily talk too much about, okay? However, at times, those relationships can be tested, especially when a parent becomes disgruntled. If you haven't experienced this yet in your field of education, you probably will at some point. Whether it's due to a misunderstanding, differing perspectives on education, or just external stressors. Handling an upset parent can feel like walking on a tightrope. Yet, managing these interactions effectively is so crucial, not only for the child's well-being, but also for maintaining just that positive learning environment for everyone, including yourself, okay? And that's what we're going to get into this week. So this little segment is going to explore just some practical research-based strategies to help you navigate those situations, right? How to help you have these conversations with disgruntled parents and turn what could potentially be a very stressful situation or a very tense situation into something productive. Okay, that's where we're headed this week. I'm trying not to go too fast because last week people were like, "Oh, you're talking so fast," but you know, I do talk fast. I'm a teacher. Feel free to pause this, slow this down, however you need to take it in, okay? But that's where we're headed this week. We're going to just really hopefully give you some good tips and strategies on how to handle that disgruntled parent. So, first and foremost, when you're doing this, let's just jump into it. We want to look at what are reasons for the parent becoming unhappy. Understanding these causes, like the root causes of dissatisfaction, is the first step in handling conflicts. Parents may express frustration or anger for just a variety of reasons, often related to their child's well-being or academic performance. Some of these triggers these aren't the only ones, but these include time strains and guilt. Many parents are juggling demanding jobs or single parenting responsibilities, leaving them feeling guilty about the amount of time that they're spending with their children. What happens? This guilt heightens emotional responses when issues arise at school, right? They feel like it's a reflection of their parenting. Communication breakdowns. Misunderstandings about school policies, grading, or classroom behavior can lead to frustration. Parents may feel their concerns aren't being taken seriously or that their voices just aren't being heard. And then there's the emotional responses to their child's experiences, right? So a parent's instinct is to protect their child, and this can result in emotional reactions, especially when they feel their child has been treated unfairly, bullied, or just overlooked in some way. That's a big one. There's also control issues and differing values, right? Conflicts often arise from parents feeling that they are losing control over their child's education. Differences in values, such as approaches to discipline or homework, can just exaggerate these feelings. And then there's the family stressors, right? This could be financial strain, it could be health issues, it could be personal crisis. These can definitely intensify a parent's reactions to school-related issues, turning these little minor things into larger confrontations. Knowing the underlying reasons for the parent's frustration is going to help you approach the situation with empathy and respond accordingly and professionally. Okay? So step 2 in this, once we know the root cause, is managing those emotional responses. When dealing with disgruntled parents, emotional intelligence, often known as EI, so if you hear me just refer to it as EI, as emotional intelligence, it becomes one of your most powerful tools. EI involves being aware of your own emotions, recognizing the emotions in others, and then using this understanding to guide the interaction. In a high-stakes conversation with parents, with upset parents especially, these skills are invaluable. And the first skill you want to make sure you have at your fingertips is your active listening. This is the best way to de-escalate tension. You have to listen with intention. Parents want to feel heard, they want to feel validated, and when you don't agree with their perspective, active listening is going to be your best tool. So you want to make eye contact with them and use nonverbal cues, such as nodding, to show that you are engaged, right? Then reflect. Reflect back on what the parent is saying to confirm your understanding. Make sure you're getting their perspective. Say something like, for example, I hear you're concerned that Emma is struggling with math and you feel that the current strategies aren't working. Then avoid interrupting and wait for the parent to finish speaking before you respond. That can be a hard one for teachers because we want to be on the defense all the time. Next, acknowledge the parent's emotions, even if you don't agree with their interpretation. You want to build this trust. Simply say something like, I understand that this is a frustrating situation for you. This is going to help validate their feelings and reduce the chances of it escalating even further. Okay? I did some research on this, and the research shows that parents who feel understood are far more likely to engage in problem-solving discussions rather than when the focus is on blaming them or they feel they're being blamed. Okay? Your own emotional state is going to greatly influence the outcome of the conversation. If you become defensive or upset, it's going to just exaggerate the situation. Take a breath, stay calm, and just focus on the child's best interest. Use the neutral language and avoid personalizing the conflict. It is not about you. It is about what is best for the child, and just keep reiterating that. Have these clear, open communication because that's going to be essential in resolving the conflict, right? I'm going to give you some strategies that can help turn the difficult conversation into one of collaboration and problem solving. And the first step in this is be open and honest with your dialogue. You want to create a safe space where both parties are feeling comfortable and they're secure in expressing their concerns, right? Encourage the parents to share their thoughts openly and ensure that you listen without judgment. This is going to build the trust and foster a more constructive dialogue. Say something like, I want to understand your perspective so we can figure out the best way to support Jason in moving forward. Then set some clear expectations and boundaries, okay? When we set the expectations for how conversations will be conducted, This is important, particularly if emotions run high. This includes politely but firmly establishing boundaries to keep the discussion productive. They're not here to harp on you. We are here to focus on the best interest of the child. I understand you're feeling upset, and I want to make sure we can find a solution. Can we both agree to focus on what we can do to help Jason, Michael, whoever thrive? And of course, you want to document everything. So after you have this conversation, be sure to take time to document the key points and any action items you agreed upon. Following up with the parent, it's going to reinforce accountability and then ensure that both parties remain aligned to the efforts of supporting the child. You can do this in a variety of ways. It could be email. I love the phone calls, right? Thank you so much for meeting with me yesterday. I just wanted to recap that we agreed to check in weekly on Sarah's progress with her reading assignments, and I will provide you with updates every Friday. Email it. See, give them a quick reply. If you have the ability to text with your school's communication, send a text, okay? I am going to say sometimes, despite your best efforts, tensions will still arise. And in these moments, conflict resolution strategies can help to diffuse the situation and keep the focus on finding solutions. That is our goal. So instead of dictating solutions, right, involve parents in the decision-making process. When you have this collaborative problem-solving approach, it's going to let the parent know that they're being heard and both parties are invested in a positive outcome. Ask the parent for input and explore the solutions together. Why don't we brainstorm some ways that you can support Jacob at home and I can support him in the classroom? What have you noticed that works for him at home? And maybe I can share with what's working in the classroom. Okay? In more complex or emotionally high stakes situations, mediation from a third party, such as your counselor or your admin, can often help facilitate the conversation. The mediator ensures that both parties are being heard and help guide the discussion towards resolution. I've been there, and this works magically. Do not feel ashamed or embarrassed to ask for your admin's support in this. Sometimes the issue being presented is not the true cause of the parent's frustration. And then when we use probing questions to uncover these underlying issues that may be contributing to the conflict. So addressing the root cause, whether it's the misunderstanding about expectations or an unaddressed learning difficulty or external stresses, it can prevent future conflicts, right? That mediator is there to keep everybody on track and focused, okay? The best way to handle a disgruntled parent is to build a strong positive relationship with them from the start of the school year. This is going to prevent conflicts, and it's also going to resolve issues when they arrive. And I know that this sounds easier said than done, and the longer you are teaching, the easier this becomes, okay? Have regular communication. Do not wait for parent-teacher conferences to communicate with families. You need to have regular updates about a child's progress, whether it is through emails, newsletters, a quick phone call, but you want to build that trust and show that you are invested in the child's success. I always did a weekly Friday note. Told them 2 positive things that the child did and then something they want to work on. You want to take the time to understand the parents' backgrounds, concerns, and values. And then this is going to help you approach conversations from that place of understanding and show that the parent is seen as an investor in the child's education. Okay? Whether this is in person or through virtual platforms, you need to create a warm, welcoming, non-threatening atmosphere for the parents. This is going to help you set that tone for productive communications. When parents feel welcome and respected, they are so much more likely to approach you with concerns rather than complaints. And how they approach you is how you are going to infer their feeling towards you, right? As educators, it is so important to recognize that handling disgruntled parents is an ongoing learning process. Even when you think you have it mastered, there's always something more. Find some professional development opportunities. Focus on emotional intelligence, communication skills, conflict resolution to help you enhance your ability to navigate these situations. This is what we do inside our community with our teachers. We help build those skills with them. And then after you have that difficult conversation, be sure to take time to reflect on what went well and what could be improved. This is going to allow you to refine your approach and develop those stronger relationships with parents, right? Some ways to do this. If you can, have a trusted colleague or a mentor to debrief with, because this can provide you so much insight for approaches in handling the parents. Don't hesitate to seek support from your professional community. If you are a member inside our community, this is what we are here for. This is what we are all about. But your admin should be on your team too, okay? Handling disgruntled parents, it's not easy. But with the right approach, these conversations can lead to stronger relationships and better outcomes for the student. And truly, you are learning along the way, no matter how many years you've been in education. By approaching these conflicts with clear communication and that collaborative problem-solving approach, teachers can turn tense moments into opportunities for partnerships. It truly is possible. At the heart of every difficult conversation is a shared goal: the success and well-being of the child. When parents and teachers work together, even the most challenging situations can lead to positive, lasting outcomes for the student. And I'm going to give you a tip, because you're here watching this. I'm going to give you one more phrase that can truly help you and make all the difference for me. When a parent is speaking to you, you want to use the phrase, "I understand. I understand. Thank you for letting me know. Now I understand." You're coming from the place of, this was never brought to my attention. And now that they know that you weren't aware, more than likely their whole perspective is going to shift on the conversation too. And then you say, well, now that I'm aware of this, let's talk about strategies that we can do at school and at home to help Molly, Sally, whoever succeed. Okay? I hope this was helpful. I hope you got some great takeaways from this. Feel free to reach out to me, message me if you need more depth, more context. If you're inside our community, you get our support one-on-one, simply filling out a Google form, telling us what you need, and then we respond very similar to this, just in a quick little video that you can play while you are lesson planning, grading papers, whatever it may be. Teachers seem to be loving this format because it's not taking time after school. They can kind of play this during their planning periods and still get stuff done while listening to how to help serve the children in their classrooms. So, loving this approach to supporting our teachers. If you're inside our membership, we would love to hear from you and how much, hopefully, you are loving this format too. Okay, until next week, if you didn't watch last week's, go back and watch that. That's all about the Successful Parent-Teacher Conference. And then this was just a follow-up that kind of came up from questions about last week's blog. Like, well, what do you do if it doesn't go well? So we just want to go a little bit more in depth with that this week with the teachers who watched and listened and read last week's blog. So until next week, we will see you soon. Remember to teach, relax, repeat.